Everywhere in the Federal Capital Territory, there are unique architectural designs that become the fantastic buildings for which Abuja is known. These buildings, however, passed through a construction phase that was hardly a bed of roses.
Once you acquire your land and you have your CFO, probably your survey plan, that is the survey plan will be the guideline for the architect in order for him not to trespass.
You do the setting out first. That's the pegging. You peg out the position for the building. You mark it on a profile. You understand? After that, then you transfer that marking on the ground. Then you commence excavation. After excavation, you do your blinding. After the blinding, you cast the column base. You fix the reinforcement. Then you cast the column bases. After the column, go ahead with your block work, substructural block work. After which you bring in the lean concrete. That is the process where you fill the block holes with weak concrete.
Some buildings are finished within months, others take as long as 10 years. Why?
The duration for a particular project depends on the size of the structure. You cannot compare like what we are doing here now. Just 2 floors and the deck and the roof. You can't compare it to a 10-story building. For something like this, if there are no hindrances, like phone and stuff like that, ideally, 13 months should complete it. Then if you project it for a 10-story, take a longer time.
The first thing is money. And the other thing is the way and manner you try to manage the resources you have. But project like this, at times when you have everything on ground, like the bill of quantity, you want to work with the money that is required. So it just like, say, a year or a year plus.
Former president of the Nigerian Institute of Building, Chuks Emefiele, decried cement manufacturers' profiteering because there is no raw material used for cement production not found in the country. This is worrisome as cement is a major part of buildings and it's also used in block making.
Some people are selling blocks, 400 each per one, depending on the quality. So while some people are selling less than that, like 300, even 200, 180, 150, depending on the quality of the block that you are going to use.
Laborers are vital to any construction. With over 5 years' experience within and outside Abuja, Bashir reveals his daily earnings.
How much do they pay now?
2.5.
2.5 how?
For the money to 5. If I start here around 8 o'clock to 5 to close.
Do you know that the people we use, as in those that are working on this site, at times let me say, some of them are not, their commitment is not, all they just feel is maybe the money that is into it.
A recent report claims that there are over 665 abandoned buildings in Abuja, most of which are meant to be commercial and residential housing projects. Buildings under construction are abandoned because of inconsistent government policies, lack of accountability, lack of infrastructure facilities, and wrong location.
Then the project might have issues, maybe approval issues. Probably the property is in contention.
Maybe lack of funds. Or maybe the owner of the building, maybe is no more. So, but for me, if you have money, there is no way you should abandon your project.
Daily, open land gets developed going through the stages, either ending up as a building beautifully completed or abandoned. Rootstv, Nigeria.